Good morning, everyone. Hello. So, actually it's the afternoon. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to drink my tea. So today we're going to talk about contouring a little bit and how to wear a bold lip. This is the perfect time of year for both of these things because we don't need to wear a lot of makeup if we don't want to. I know that the winter can sometimes make some people's skin angry, or and you don't want to wear makeup, or it's just a time of year where you don't like to wear makeup, or maybe you like to wear tons of makeup. It's totally up to you. But this is the perfect time of year to not have to go all out. You don't have to wear, bright colors or anything like that. If you want to, do you. But today I'm going to show you how I contour my face and how I would wear a bold lip. So essentially, I already have on my foundation and my concealer. I'm trying something new. I'll let you know how I feel about it. So far, so good. But it's the CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous. Yeah, Ready Set Gorgeous. The foundation and the concealer, they come in a pair. Or you can buy them in a pair. So the foundation has a wide range of colors, like most of their things. And then the concealer on the package, I think there's 3 or 4 concealers, and it says if you're between A and B in foundation, then this is the color that you would use for concealer. So I'll let you know how I feel about those. Let's get into this. So I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer so that we can get up close and personal with each other. The first thing that I would suggest doing while I'm focusing on myself, when you're wearing a dark or a bold lip, or even a really bright lip, something that's going to draw attention, you're going to want your mouth to be or your lips to be as kissable as possible. So one surefire way to do that is to drink tons and tons of liquid water. Keep yourself really, really hydrated. Another really great way to do that is get yourself a exfoliator for your lips. So I have 2 different ones. One is by e.l.f. and it looks like a lipstick, and then it has some essential oils and cocoa beans and coffee beans broken up into it so that it's gentle on your lips, but it still exfoliates them. I also have another one that's from Lush, and it's actually a green ball. It's like this big. And I put it into a Tupperware container and leave it in the shower. So I wash my body with it, and it's kind of like green tea and other essential oils and things like that. And then I also rub it on my mouth while I am in the shower. I wouldn't suggest eating it or letting it get too far into your mouth because it tastes really gross. I just did it, so I have some really great hair because it's still sort of wet. The other thing is, after you do your foundation, or even before you do your foundation, get some lip balm on those bad boys. This is the Baby Lips Dr. Rescue by Maybelline. I throw it in my bag. It's really inexpensive. I have a couple of them. They're everywhere. So the other thing, I already have my brows on because foundation and brows take a really long time to do. That's half of your makeup routine. It takes usually about 5 to 7 minutes just to do that part. And I knew I was going to talk a lot at the beginning of this video. So now we're going to get into how I contour, just because it's, the next thing that I do after I have my foundation on, my concealer, my powder. So what you're going to want to do when you contour, if you're going to have, a pretty good contour, is you're going to want a bronzer that doesn't have too much shimmer in it. So this is a bronze highlighting palette that I got from e.l.f. As you can see, I jabbed my nail into it. I think I showed you that in another video, actually. So this can double as a blush, but it's actually not all that pigmented. It's just kind of rosy. So you can use it as blush or use it as a highlight. And then this is the contour color, and it's fairly dark for me anyways. So I'll show you what I do. This has a little bit of shimmer in it. But it's okay, we're gonna fix it. So I have a contour brush. You can kind of see the way that it's designed. It's like a blush brush, but it's on an angle. It doesn't go straight up and down. It's not really fluffy. It's on an angle. So I take this, and this is gonna look really scary for a minute. I'll warn you now. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the blush, or a little bit of the bronzer, and I'm going to suck in my cheeks a little bit And you can see there's a triangle shape that's right here. If your mouth is open, and this is going to sound very strange, but if your mouth is open, it's the space between your teeth and here. So the handle just fell off my brush. I apologize. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to, on an angle, lightly start pushing it against where my cheekbone is. I'm brushing it down slightly. See, it's really, really dark in here. It's okay, we'll fix it. Now for me, I have already some pretty prominent cheekbones because of the way of my face, the way that my face is. So I don't need to contour too much. You pull this down as far as you feel like you need to pull it. I just want to make a distinction between the top of my cheekbone, which is right here, and my cheek. See? My cheeks. It makes some good faces when I do my makeup. So now when you're buffing it out, I take a bronzer brush, my Sonia Kashuk, and a regular bronzer. This is my NYC Sunny. It's matte and it's actually quite a bit lighter. So I pop it all over my brush, like so, and then I start to buff out that area, and I don't want to bring it too far down here, and I don't want to bring it up too far this way, so I'm just going to buff it down this way into that open area. And once I have a good amount of product on, but I still feel like it's a little bit too much, then I just take a small stippling brush, like this, with zero product on it, and I just buff it, because for me and the shape of my face, it's the perfect size. So I can just get in here and buff out in circular motions the product until I'm happy with it. And now I have a contour. It's a little dark right now because I'm showing you how I do it. And now I'm gonna go, I just don't want this to be too muddy. I'm just going to keep buffing it up. I drag it into my hairline a little bit here because you can contour the sides of your temples, you can contour your cheeks, you can contour down your neck, you can contour your nose. You can literally contour anywhere where you want to add a shadow if you want to change the shape of your face a little bit. So I just take this product and run it along my hairline. I'm physically running my brush through my hair, like it's getting tangled in my hair. You can see it. Now you can see part of the brush is on my cheek here, like on the top of my cheek, and that's okay because this brush doesn't have anything on it. So I'm just sweeping it back and forth, which is buffing out this line, but it's not adding any product. And okay. So now I'm going to blast through the other side of my face. Now, like I said, you can also contour the other high points of your face, just because, like, I have, you know, a pretty good sized forehead, and I don't really like it. So I'm just gonna take my brush with just a little bit on it, the smallest little bit. It's like my face, and then I'm going to, in this area right here, to my part and my temple, I'm gonna hit that, or my part, the center of my forehead and my temple. I'm gonna hit that, and I'm gonna literally drag it into my hairline. When you're looking for a contour color, you don't want anything that is too red or too orange. You want something that's going to be matte, something that's going to be a nice bronze color. I'm also going to do, while I'm explaining this to you, I'm also going to do just under my chin a little bit, like under my jawline a little bit, and drag it in down my chin. And there's nothing extra on my brush because I don't need it. So like I was saying, you don't want anything that's too orange or too red. You just want something that is a nice bronze color with not too much shimmer in it. And if you find that you've contoured too much, like I look like around here, that's what I buff out for. So it actually looks pretty silly when I first do it, especially because I'm not blending as I go. Hard lines blend out. So I look a little scary. At this point, I don't like to bronze the rest of my face. So I just take my stippling brush and buff out that line around my face, especially right here. And then under my chin. Okay. So that is how I contour. Now if I want to highlight, which I generally don't do because I'm already an oily person, so I naturally start to shine a little bit throughout the day, and that's going to be across my forehead and in my T-zone, a little bit in here. So I generally don't highlight, but for the sake of this, I will show you how to do it. So I'm going to take, this is an e.l.f. palette that I'm going to use. It's just their natural nudes palette. I'm going to take a highlight color. So they have in this palette here, I'm going to see if I can show you. This color right here is a highlight color. Ooh, look, you can see everything in my kitchen. So I'm going to take this on my finger, and then, because it is slightly shimmery, you're going to want to take a color that is like a cream color or even white, that has a nice amount of a light shimmer in it. And I don't want any glitter in it or any sparkles in it. I just want a shimmer in it. And then you just hit the high points of your face. So here, underneath your eyes, the top of your cheekbone. You can actually physically feel your cheekbone here. And on the other side. I'm also going to take a little bit of this pink one just for the sake of using it because it's here. Hit the high points of my cheekbones. Some really good bronzers are like Hoola by Benefit, Laguna by NARS. This e.l.f. Duo palette is actually the bronzer is supposed to be a dupe for Laguna. Even any darker eyeshadows, if you don't have a contour color that you like or that's matte enough, even a matte brown eyeshadow can do really well. If you don't like the idea of brown because you're really fair, then you can use a taupe color eyeshadow, a little bit of a darker taupe color eyeshadow, just to make it more of a natural line. And for highlighters, Mary Luminizer by The Balm, any of the highlighters by Benefit, they have some liquid ones and some powder ones. So the next thing in wearing a contour and a bold lip, I'm lying to you, we don't have blush on. So let's do that first. I can do that later, but I'm going to do it first. So this is my Milani Baked Blush in the color Dolce Pink, and just my Sigma small contour brush. So your next step wearing a bold lip is keeping your eye kind of simple. So what I like to do is take my NYX Jumbo pencils. I have 3 of them. One is in Milk, which is a white one. One of them is in Sparkly Nude, or Sparkle Nude, which is, well, sparkly nude. And the other one is French Fry, which is like a bronze brown color. So I'll take those. What I'm going to do is take the nude one, and I'm going to run it along my whole entire lid, just color on it. I'm going to buff it out with my finger just to make sure that it's all blended nicely. I love these crayons. And 2 fingers. Okay. And then I take my bronze one, my French Fry one, and I sort of look down into my mirror and raise my eyebrows like I have a question, or like I'm surprised. And I just trace from the corner of my lash line into the inside of my eye with just this. I know it looks very silly, but I'll show you in a minute that it doesn't. It's just a really easy way to do this, that's all.
or a really easy way to do a slightly smoky eye. And then just take my clean ring finger again and buff out that line. So I sort of push it into my brow bone. I can feel my brow bone right here, so I push it into my brow bone. I don't want to take it up too far, and I don't want to bring it down too far, I don't want to bring it in too far. I kind of want to go generally in the area that I colored in to begin with. And then I'll just sort of dab the outer V of my eye because I have a little bit of product on my finger. So I'm just going to kind of dab it just a little. On my desk here, I have a piece of paper towel so that I can wipe off my fingers. And then I'll take my white one and I'll just color in here for kind of a little bit of a highlight. Just tap it. Some of the NYX pencils I find are creamier than others. So if you purchase one of them and you feel like, oh, I'm dragging my skin, you're okay. If it feels like you're dragging too much, maybe lay down a eyeshadow primer or something first. There. So these set. They won't move. You have to move kind of quickly, but it is a pencil, so it takes a good minute or so. Once you draw it on, buff it out with your finger, and then you're okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take from the same e.l.f. palette from before, I'm going to take a flat shader brush, and I'm going to take just a little bit of like a dark shimmery purple. Let's see if I can show you. Where is he? This color here. Tap it off on my brush, or on my case, and just run just a teeny bit on my lower lash line. And it drags a little bit up into the corner, so I just connect the line. Don't put anything more on my brush because there's gonna be a lot. Okay. Just a touch like that. And then comes the part where we curl our eyelashes and put on mascara. I'll be right back. So the last thing that I'm going to do with my eyes is I'm just going to color my waterline. So this is the Rimmel Exaggerate, just in nude. You can do it with white, you can do it with off-white, you can do it with nude, you can do it with black, with blue, purple, whatever color you want. Whatever type of eye you got going on. Sorry, that's gross, I know. And now for the fun part, our lips. So this is the baby skin that is underneath my foundation. So I'm just gonna tap a little bit between my fingers and put it onto my lips. So I have a moisturizer on. I've now topped it off. Or not a moisturizer, a lip gloss on. I've now topped it off. So I'm going to put this on. Just because it makes your lips that much more soft for when we apply our liner. So this is just a Milani Color Statement liner in the color Spice. It's got a little bit of a color to it. You can use a nude. You can use the same color as what you're going to wear on your lips. But I'm going to wear a very, very dark like berry color, and for this purpose you're not going to see this, so I'm just going to line my lips quickly. Then I'm going to go in with a lip brush. So the lip brush that I'm going to use is from, I think it's a Real Techniques brush, and it's actually an accent brush that I'm going to use. But as you can see, it's really, really small. This is the lip color that I'm going to use. I don't even think you can get this lip color anymore, but I'm sure MAC has one that's like this or better. This isn't black. It is a really, really, really deep purple. It's called Edie, and it's actually from Faces. It's a kiosk that used to be in a mall around here. So I'm just going to, on my brush, pick up a little bit of product. Also, from the bullet,
I'm going to start to apply it, but I'm not going to get anywhere close to the tops of my Cupid's bow or around the edges or anything like that, because you'll just make a mess, I promise you. I'm going to take my brush that has a bunch of product on it, and I'm going to start filling in around my lips. When you get around the edge of your lips, use the tip of the brush. I just slipped and overdrew right here. So now I'm going to put this far away from the concealer brush that I'm going to grab. This is a Real Techniques pixelated pointed eyeliner brush. As you can see, it's also very little, but it's more pointed. And I'm just going to take a bit of concealer, pop it on the back of my hand. I'm having quite the issue today speaking. And then I'm going to take the brush without any concealer on it, clean up the edge a little bit. Drop your brush in between so you don't make a mess. This is the fun part about working with really dark lipstick. And then I'm going to go in with the same brush and the concealer on it and just conceal. And when you first start wearing a really bold lip, don't be afraid to get real close so that you can see, but make sure you're following the line of your mouth. Try not to overdraw when you're wearing really dark colors. When you're wearing a bold color, like a bright color, a bright pink or something like that, it's okay to overdraw slightly. But when you're wearing a dark lip, try not to overdraw because it can get really messy really fast. And then I'm just going to take the last little bit of concealer here because I have a pimple on the top of my lip. And I'm just going to touch her up. Another really nice thing to do, which I'm going to do right now, is take one of those highlighting colors again. I'm going to take the white one on my pinky, and I'm just going to pop it in my Cupid's bow. Just to add a little bit of shine right there. So this is how I would contour and wear a bold lip. It's actually pretty easy. It's just getting used to seeing yourself with a really dark lip and a pretty strong contour. So, tell me what you think. Bye everyone, have a great day. See you next week.